You ought to be practicing the Constitution. Guess what happened to me on Saturday? Was it Saturday or Sunday? No, yesterday was Sunday. Yeah, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. Boy, I missed the time. I had a visitor to my house. It was Saturday, yeah. Mr. Jomo Campbell. He came by. He was campaigning in Fort Wingasso, and he had an entourage with him. I had a very nice conversation with him. But I did tell him I want him to come on this show so that the people could hear the questions I asked him and the answers he gave me. I did have a nice conversation with him. He said he hears the show. In fact, he listens. His whole cabinet is listening to the show. You know that? He said, Professor, all of us listen to you. And I'm delighted to hear that. Felt very good about that. So I got to be honest and tell them the truth, right? I have to be honest and tell the people the truth. I don't want to lie on anyone. I don't want to mislead anyone. I don't want to deceive anyone. And some of you get all tied up in politics. I don't say anything about the PLP party, You hardly said me anything saying about the FNM party. I speak about the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's what I talk about, particularly on Constitution Day. Now, if the political party is doing something like they're having a rally, the leader of the party speaking or someone from the party speaking, fine, because it's the political season. And some of you get all knot up and tied up and everything like that. Well, I'm not going to be involved in that. And I'm not bashing anybody. Some people talk about bashing this one and bashing that one. The aim is whatever I say can be proven to be factual. Not one living soul in this Commonwealth has been able to defy or say Professor Thomson is not telling the truth. Call me and tell me where I am wrong, spiritually, according to the Bible, where I am wrong, constitutionally, according to the Constitution. You've been electing people from 1729 who don't know the Constitution and putting them in the House of Assembly and the Senate, right on up to 2026. The record is there to prove it, Bahamians. You've been sending a whole army of people, and plenty of them were attorneys who know nothing about the Constitution. That's what you've done. That's the record. I can't do nothing about that. As far as that is concerned, that has been done. And you're going to find that among the current ones, if you get 1% of them who knew the Constitution, that's fine. But you can't find 1% of them whom you've been sending there know anything about the Constitution of this country. That's sad. That's an indictment against us as a government and as a nation. But we could correct it. And we have all kind of confusion in this country because of a lack of understanding of constitutional law. That's why I took it upon myself to study constitutional law. I could look at any statute law. You put it in front of me for the first time, and I could glance at that and look at that and tell you whether it's constitutionally sound or not. That's the way I look at law, Bahamians. Don't you see them bringing statute law, then coming back and correcting it, then coming back and correcting it, then making a third and fourth amendment to the same law? Why? If our legislators were trained and understood constitutional law, all of that could be avoided. You could get it right the first time around. But they don't know. But you still keep electing them. So who's at fault? Who's at fault, Bahamians? 53 years coming up July of this year. 53 years as an independent nation. And we're still sending people who don't know this Constitution 53 years later. How we get like that? That's just a harsh reality, Bahamians. But we can do something about it. We can learn it. We can understand it. That's why I'm here on the scene for this very present time. And I'm going to be doing a whole series of constitutional classes. And I'm going to announce that and let you know what the cost will be. There's a cost factor, Bahamians. It takes a lot of hard work. You don't understand. See, a lot of you don't understand how difficult it is when it comes to constitutional law. You don't know that. Many of you don't even know statute law. You see how they write it? Just look at the writing, the legalese in it. You think the average person in Baintown and Fort Castle and Centerville and all across the country, people in Andros and places like that, they look at that as a foreign language to them. They don't know it. But yet they keep doing it, Bahamians. So when I talk to them about law, I'm going to deal with the statute laws, since they have no understanding of constitutional law, none whatsoever. That's a sad indictment on our legislators. But they're sitting in the parliament, and the Constitution tells me parliament may make laws what? For the peace, 1, for the order, 2, for the good government of the Commonwealth. Notice what it said, good government. But you don't even know the Constitution. How you can do it? How you can do it, Bahamians? So the cat got 9 lives. So I'll find another way. If number 9 is not working, I go to number 8. I come up from 9 to 8. But there's always a way to skin the cat. Oh, let me say, supposed to put Jomo Campbell asked me, his mother, I spoke to his mother on Saturday, I think it was. Yeah, Saturday, and he was by me and spoke to her over the telephone. He gave her a shout out. I told him I would do that today. Jomo Campbell's mother, hello, and I hope all is well with you. She always listens to the show. And others, of course. Now, we need your strong financial support, so let me put that in right now, because there are some things we have to do. And I told my representative, Mr. Campbell, he said he heard a lot of the things I've been saying on there, and they're supposed to be working on those things. That came directly from him. And while he was there, he tried to get the minister to work. They're going to put the signs up, they can put them signs up on 66 steps, the Queen's Staircase. So I was delighted when I heard that. But I haven't seen any of the other candidates from the 2 other major parties, the COI and the one from the Free National Movement. Now, you can make a determination on a representative, because a lot of people don't seem to understand. If a representative was perfect, 100% like Jesus Christ, right? Ain't none of them like that, so that part is out. No matter how well a representative may do in the term he is there, you do not have to elect that particular personality again. Do you understand how serious that is? You're not bound to elect that person again. Now, if the person is a righteous person, what did God say? Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. Now, if that person is a righteous representative, well, then you re-elect him. That's what you do. And what happens when you're righteous? When the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. That means the people in that constituency are happy every living day of their lives. They're rejoicing all the time. They're inviting people, man, you all need to leave your old constituency. Come in this constituency. Things are good over here. The blessings of the Lord are here, not over there where you all are. Come here in this constituency. Now, do you see that happening? See, now you have to tell me. I know it's happening in Fort Castle. I know it's happening in Centerville. And Mr. Campbell is a likable person. He's a fine young man. I had a good conversation with him. And he does mean well for his constituents. And he took his time going through Fort Castle. We're not a big community up there. We're relatively small. And I think the people were delighted to express their views to him. But I told him I want him to come on air so the people can hear the questions that I put to him and the answers he gives to the people of this country. I think that's the best way for me to talk to him. But we had a brief conversation and he moved along. And he had his team with him. And I don't know why people who say they want to run, they're not campaigning. You got to hit the ground. That ground campaign is very important, you know. Radio, advertising, television advertising, all that is important too. But that ground campaign, I know what I'm talking about, Bahamians. I've been involved in ground campaign. I never lost an election yet when I go on the ground campaigning. And you have to have people who know how to talk to the people. Now, some of them can tell you some things that are not nice, and you just got to smile and say, have a nice day. Remember, the vote is always right. Do you know that? Don't they tell you the custom is always right? But the voter, or let's say the potential voter, because you become a voter when you vote. So I call this the eligible list of voters. They're not voters yet until they vote. Now, are all those on the voters list or eligible list Bahamians? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Are they Bahamian citizens? The Constitution defines what a Bahamian citizen is. There's been a lot of talk about the voter registration list or list of eligible voters or potential voters. Some are not eligible. But they're on the list. How they got there? We cannot have people in this election who are not Bahamian citizens. And I have to check to see what the fines are, what the penalty is for persons who are attempting to vote, because I got to discuss that on this radio station. Because there is a penalty or a series of penalties for persons who do that kind. That's against the law. It's a violation of law. You cannot encourage that. They're having similar problems in the United States. Now, I understand today is the cutoff day for a large number of people in the United States who are temporary status. Their temporary status ends 12 midnight tonight. Several hundreds of thousands of persons from Haiti who have temporary status. And their temporary status runs out 12 midnight tonight. Now, they will be sent back from whence they came. Some may have already gone. They were paying them a few dollars to go. But still plenty of them still want to be there. Say they want to stay in the United States. And there are some who believe that a lot of these people who are there may be heading this way. No, they head to Haiti. You don't come to the Bahamas. You're from Haiti, you go back to Haiti. That's where you belong. Now, if some fraudulent activity went on, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. We may end up having some problems. very serious problems. Let me just say this. This election is very serious. If you follow God's instruction as he reveals it in the Bible, and Proverbs 29:2 is just the beginning, righteousness and wickedness. I want to deal with the positive side. If you have 41, the PLP has already ratified all its candidates. The Philip Brave Davis was in the last batch, so was the leader, the deputy leader of that party as well. They were ratified. It's about 13 they had there. Mr. Davis and Mr. Cooper, they were ratified. One for Cat Island, the other one for Exuma. And some new persons were ratified. And if my producer could find a clip on what the leader of the party had to say, we'll play that as well, because he made some remarks. I heard it on the radio because the press asked him. And they asked him about the fact that only one person knows when the election should be. He's in favor of the people knowing a fixed date for election. That's what he said. A fixed date for election. That should have been done a long time. So every single person in the country would know this is the date for the general election. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. If everyone knew, just like it would be a good thing for everyone to know the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's a wonderful thing. So we have to work on the two of them, fixed date for elections and getting people to know the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But you must have God in your knowledge. God says his people are destroyed for lack of what? Lack of knowledge. Hosea 4 and verse 6. And some of us have rejected God. Why would we do something like that? A nation built on the foundation of law, built on spiritual values and the rule of law, Christian values and the true rule of law. How we get like that? I did mention earlier in the show we had a murder in Grand Bahama. I mean, they still commit murder in Grand Bahama. And all that cold weather they have in there in the north. That's carnal nature, Bahamians. If the people of God have some bad ways, 2 Chronicles 7:14. In fact, God used the word wicked. He tells his people, turn from their wicked ways. You may tell me these good Christian people who go to church have wicked ways. Well, that's what the man tells me. He wants us to turn. You ain't got to stay wicked, you know. You could stop being wicked and become righteous. That's what God is interested in us doing, becoming righteous, so we don't have to have all these problems that we have in this country. We only have them because we're not righteous. That's the whole nuts and bolts of the whole thing. You have righteous representatives in the House of Assembly, your problems will be solved. You will rejoice. Now, do you have that with the current ones who are there? Are they righteous representatives? Now, some people will say, if a particular party doesn't put up a person they would want to run in that area, what are you looking for when you say a particular person from a particular political party running in a particular constituency? What is that to do with the quality of the particular personality who would be running? What's that to do with it? Because that particular person was not recommended by that party. You have a number of people in a particular political party who would want a particular personality. They have a number of persons vying for what? for that seat to represent the party. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, you know. He said that's democracy. But I'll tell you one thing. From what I know, I ain't telling you what I hear. I tell you what I know to be the case. Some people like talk about the base. Say, what does the base say? But just like they at the bottom, they have no say. Just as simple as that. None. None whatsoever. Not when it comes to choosing that particular personality to represent that particular party in a given election, whether it's a by-election or a general election. They have no say. That has been proven over and over and over again. But no problem. That's a party thing. That's an internal thing. The particular party has no control over the constituency where they put up a candidate to run. And some of them just believe their base. I don't know where they get that from, but they call it their base. That means you're at the bottom, Bahamian, so they just walk on you. That's why you're at the base. You're at the bottom, and you stay at the bottom. That is, if you fool with that kind of foolishness. The people in a given constituency, even if you are a member of that particular political party, you do not have to vote for the person who the particular party puts up as a candidate to run in that particular constituency. Famous, you need to understand these things, you know. Even if a particular person who may be sitting now, who's not worth a cold cup of water, they renominate that particular person. Quite a number of them have been renominated. A few have been pushed to the side. That's how political parties operate. The leadership of that party has a lot to do with who gets a nomination. Don't mind all that crappy talk. That don't mean a crap. You got to know the nature of the beast. All kind of infighting and rowing and cussing and carrying on. You should be there with your recorder. God has it all recorded, you know. And when you open the book and open up the records and the recordings, you know, God got good recording equipment in heaven, better than the ones we have on planet Earth. Every idle word that they speak, all them cussing words, that all recorded there. And God say, this is what you said, time, date, everything, right there. You think you could lie on God? Eh? Oh no, he got that all recorded. It may not be heard in these human courts of men, but it's recorded. They have to give an account, Bahamians. In the day of judgment. So all of these wicked things that people are doing, all these murders, all these crimes, many people have gone down under the ground. They were never compensated. They were treated like trash. They were treated like rubbish. Those who did those things have to give an account before the king. And that king is Jesus. That's why when he tell you every idle word that they speak, they shall give account in the day of judgment. What do you think about them wicked plans that they did? All the cutthroats and all of the other wicked things they did in the dark. God shine the light right on and see them right there. They have to give an account for all of that. I shudder. When those people come out of the ground, they're going to meet their fate. They have to pay Bahamians. And the perpetrators and the victims are going to come up at the same time. Because they have to give testimony. They can remember. I remember a particular lady, Mrs. Ashton, who was killed in the eastern part of this island many years ago. She'll come up and give a testimony as who murdered her. She'll remember that when she comes out in the resurrection. And the other terrible atrocities, what happened to people in Ukraine, hundreds of thousands of people slaughtered. In World War II, millions of Jews were slaughtered. They say 6 million plus. Just slaughtered because they were Jews. What kind of crap is that? But they're all dead. Women, men, children put in ovens and burn them up. That shows the cruelty of human beings. And Hitler and some other fellows, they were involved in some terrible things, according to history. And even after they were off the scene, look at the kind of things that are happening today. It's worse today than ever before. These people got all kinds of weapons to destroy human beings. So God says, when the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. So let's look for some righteous persons to send to the house of assembly. That's where it starts. That is, people who will do what is right, who will do what is in the best interest of the constituents in a given constituency. Don't leave it up to a political party to do it for you. The political party might give you crap. Then what? What you can do then? You can eat the crap? Or are you going to say, no, Mr. Party, I don't want that. You need something better than that. And I heard someone on the air today was saying how in that particular constituency, where that particular personality is supposed to be some big shot in there, they've always gotten what they wanted. But if they didn't get it, then the particular party must tell him and his team why they didn't get it. I don't know if it makes any difference anyhow. These political chiefs have their way all the time. Do you know that behavior? They always do it. That's their nature. That's a part of their character. You think they can change that today? No, they can change that. That will always be with them. But there are remedies to deal with that. There are ways and means to deal with it. That's why you need to know your Constitution. This is Professor Sidney McGarter, Walter Thomson. The lines are open. This is Constitution Day, 326-0272, 813-0271. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
This is Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm, inviting you to join me tonight starting at 7 p.m. as I serve you that ear candy that you love, baby. I'm dropping all your favorite slow jams like this.
Sunlight's gone, but the moon's so bright. Oh, about to cruise down my Holland Drive.
To even this.
You show love.
So lock in with me. It's The Quiet Storm, baby. The Bahamas #1 for R&B. It's Global 99.5 FM.
Do you have video games and consoles for sale? What about lawn and garden tools, silver or gold? At Cash Whiz, they'll give you top dollar for them right now. Absolutely nobody puts money in your pockets quicker. So why be broke? If you need money right now, check out Cash Whiz downtown Bay Street and get cash on the spot. You can also save 70% on in-store purchases, tools, electronics, watches, and jewelry. All at unbelievable prices. Cash Whiz, telephone 322-2456. Get money in your pockets now.
Stay current, stay compliant with NIB. For a limited time only, registered employers and self-employed persons can receive up to 75% off accumulated interest on their contribution arrears through NIB's Interest Arrears Waiver Program, available now until March 31st, 2026. If your business is behind, visit your nearest NIB office or contact your inspector today. NIB, supporting businesses, securing the fund. Act now, comply today, grow tomorrow.
Insurance is too expensive. I'm young and I don't need it. All insurances are the same. Let's bust these 3 common insurance myths. First, no, insurance doesn't have to break the bank. We offer plans that fit your budget. Second, Accidents don't care how old you are. An accident can happen to anyone. Third, all policies are not equal. The wrong one can leave you high and dry when you need help the most. At Harvest Insurance, we give you real info, real options, and real peace of mind. Call us at 326-808-405 or visit us at harvestinsurancebrokers.com and get the facts before you make a decision.
Whether you're shopping for Mother's Day, Father's Day, back to school, or any occasion for that matter, you are sure to find exactly what you're looking for at the Brass and Leather Shops. Great products like handbags, wallets, backpacks, luggage, belts, shoes, and more are awaiting you. Brand names at the best quality and reasonable prices. Lamb, Rioni, Kipling, Guess, Travel Light, Herschel, and more. Shop any of our locations. Downtown Charlotte Street, Mall at Marathon, and also the Luggage Store at Palmdale. Be sure to shop Brass and Leather Shops. You'll be glad you
The
did.
Perfume Bar has been sipping on designer fragrances, skincare, and cosmetics for over 40 years. We house a wide selection of designer brands such as Chanel, Dior, Gucci, Versace, and so much more. For your shopping convenience, visit any of our locations: Bay Street, Palmdale, Marathon Mall, and our newest location out west in the Old Fort Town Center. Come on in and spray a little happiness only at the Perfume Bar.
Plus, Bahamian shoppers know when times are hard and things are tough, it's more sensible and convenient to shop at Y-Care's Fashion Center. Y-Care's has slash prices on brand name clothing and shoes by up to 50%, including academics, Crocs, Polo, and hundreds of jeans and dicky pants. And as much as 70% on selected items. Choose from a large selection of beds, sheets, rugs, and towels, all at affordable prices. Y-Care's in 3 locations to serve you: Bahama Avenue, Prince Charles, and East Street South near the Sir Charles Hotel. Y-Care's, where you can afford to look good.
From South Beach to Bay Street.
I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Freedom of expression, freedom to impart ideas and opinions, freedom of conscience. Famous, we got all kinds of things, you know. How come we aren't using it? A lot of you don't understand these things. These are entrenched provisions, protection for private property. There's so much we have to be grateful for, what the Founding Fathers gave us in black and white, these entrenched provisions in the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that you can depend on, you can rely on. It cannot be changed by any government unless the people of this country say you could change it. You know that? They can't move it, you know. I don't care how much noise they make. I don't have a dilly-dally around the tree. It cannot be changed unless you say we agree to change it. There won't be no republic. Republics don't operate like that. You look at President Donald Trump right over there in the United States. That's a type of how republics operate. Now, you got different kind of republics now. You got one in Haiti that does operate a little differently. You got one in Ukraine. You got one in Russia. They operate differently, Bahamians, but they're supposed to be republics. Then you got one in Venezuela. But then somebody went in there and take the man out. So you can't be president no more. Listen, I heard on a news report, I have to tell you this, as I heard it today before I came to the show, where these two personalities, a radio host and a professor from one of those universities in Florida, supposed to be specialist in Cuban relations, and the host asked a guest, who was one of those professors, about Cuban relations, whether anyone in the Cuban army was willing to work with the United States government for the express purpose of a change in administration in Cuba. Now, I think the professor at that particular university, the way how Cuba is set up now, It's going to be some time for that to happen. That ain't happening anytime soon, in the view of the professor of the university. You know, Fidel Castro was there for a long time, and his brother, I understand, is still president of Cuba. I think it's Raul Castro is his name. But the thing is that I don't like the idea of that kind of talk where persons in a given country are collaborating with a foreign power. That's treason right off the top. Okay? To overthrow a government in that particular country. You know what happens to you when that happens? You become unstable. Everyone in that country gets a bad rep because they look at the leader. They look at the leaders being corrupt. They like to use the word corrupt. And you should not have a foreign power coming into somebody else's country where there's a government in function, even if it's a dictatorial government. The people of that country ought to decide whether they want that to happen, but not for foreign power to be plotting with someone in the military. Cuba has military. We got one police. Well, no, we got one defense force there. I guess that's semi-military. But they got an army, the Cuban army, to collaborate with the United States government to overthrow the government of Cuba. You hear any crap like that? That kind of talk, I don't like that. That's dangerous. And, of course, the professor told them, well, the Cuban people, he'd want people to rise up. When they call this rising up, I mean, people get in the streets. This is what the host was saying now. Get them to rally in the streets. They're trying to do that here in the Bahamas. Get the Bahamians to make plenty noise, get in the road and carry on bad. Bahamians say, no, we ain't doing it. And so when you have these demonstrations, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have your demonstrations now. The Constitution allows for freedom for peaceful assembly. People have a right to demonstrate and speak their views and so on and so forth. But this host wanted the people to be like them people in Venezuela or people in other countries. They are people plotting with a foreign government to violently overthrow that government. I guess we'll get mashed up. The average persons in that country get mashed up. They suffer the most. Those at the bottom, like you hear them talk about the base of the party, the base always get mashed up. So if there's anything happening in the Bahamas, if it doesn't benefit the majority of the people, the overwhelming majority, 98, 99% of people, where the people are included, and they benefit from whatever is being done in that country. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be the 1% benefiting at 99% expense. No, that should not be. But it happens in a whole lot of countries. You do not want to see that happen here in the Bahamas from 1729 right on up to 2026. We've had a peaceful transition from one administration to the next. Now, Bahamians, we cannot allow anyone to cause us a mess up on our record, okay? So let's tell them, no, we ain't going that way. That is not the Bahamian way of doing things. If there is a difficulty with the current administration, we know what to do with them. The Constitution is right there to tell you what to do. You ain't got to cuss the man out or talk bad about his wife or his children or his family members or any such thing. You may disagree with him. You may disagree with his government. You may disagree with your member of parliament. All of them out there campaigning now. I haven't seen any independent candidates in my area. I just saw one out of the major party. That's Mr. Campbell. He was by me on Saturday. and I've been saying the others. But be it as it may, I guess they may be coming around. But see, the problem in this country is this. Too many people wait until it's too late. In the last election, it was the same crap. Too many of them waited until it was too late, and all of them got slaughtered. Every single one of them got slaughtered. And you had two major parties win the government again and an opposition. Bahamians, let me say this, or let me say to these potential candidates. You may say the government is not doing this, or the government is not doing that. What is it that you are doing to give the people hope that they could trust you? You can hear about trust today because I'm going to have that tape played. My producer's getting it ready. The man say trust. Can they trust you? You say you've never been there before. We didn't have a chance. Fine, no problem. How do we know whether you will do that which is good in the best interest of the constituents in that particular constituency, or the nation as a whole, the government doing that which is in the best interest of the people of this country? How do we know? There's a way to find out, you know. I think my producer, Mr. Bruce, you say you have that tape ready. There's a tape from the Prime Minister. Well, yeah, the Prime Minister, Mr. Philip Brave Davis. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
When I think what this government, this administration, and again, you know, it's disappointing. When I think what this government, this administration, and in particular, recognizing the value of nurses, recognizing the sacrifices they make, and also recognizing the fact that we are under siege by other jurisdictions to lure them away from their home jurisdictions. We have been doing our best to ensure they properly compensate. And if they look at where they were when I came into office, where they are now, as far as I was concerned, that should tell them how I think about them and how I value them. I just asked them to look at that. With respect to this issue of overtime, well, usually overtime could become an unbudgeted item. It only came to our attention within the week, and within that week, we made the arrangements to pay them. And for them to have taken what they, I mean, it was unfortunate, because they have to trust me. And if they don't trust me, then the question is, trust goes both ways. I want to trust them, but they have to demonstrate that they trust me too. They work their overtime. I'm not someone who believes that the government should rob their citizens, but nor do I believe citizens should rob their government.
Did you hear that from the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas? That's worth commenting on. Bahamian, the lines are open 3260272, 813027, because I can comment on it. The man say they got it within that week. About this overtime, it was unbudgeted. And it was called to his attention within that week. Maybe that was last week or the week before, whenever. But within that week, they made arrangements to pay the nurses. That's what the man say. Is that true or false? Then he talked about you've got a situation where the nurses are being lured away from the Bahamas to go to them other people's place. So you all come here, we could pay more money. But you're only hearing one side of the story. What happens when they go there? What are the conditions? Are they making more money? Do they pay more taxes over in that country? See, these are factors you need to consider. What about living conditions? Are they safe in those countries? They may get a few more dollars, but I don't think they're safe like how it is in the Bahamas. I doubt that very seriously. And any nurses out there, you need to tell us. You left the Bahamas, you went to them other people's place, because I understood some came back, you know. And the prime minister say, look at where you were before I came to the office of prime minister. That's what the man tells me. See, that's why I tell you got to listen to what the man say. And where they are now. Say has been working to assist nurses. He appreciates the work that they're doing. But then he said something else. The government, this administration, specifically speak to his administration now, they're not interested in robbing the nurses. They've made arrangement to pay the nurses now. Did they get it yet? I don't know. But nurses, you need to call in and tell the public where you got the money. The man say he made arrangement to pay the nurses in that week when he got the information because it was unbudgeted. So the man say. So we got to hear from the nurses now. Now, he was disappointed in the nurses, what they did. Is that, were they really sick? I guess you could put a question mark to it. They called in sick. He was disappointed in the way how the nurses went about it. Then he talked about trust. He said, trust goes both ways. You trust me, I trust you. I work, Mr. Prime Minister, then I trust you to pay me. But he said he made arrangements for the pay. Now, I know if they get it yet, if it was put right in the bank that same week when he got the information, this thing and budgeted, you know, these verses, we put checks right in the post right away. Bing! He's the Minister of Finance. All you got to do is sign the note. I believe you have a call on the line. I ain't finished my comments yet, though. Caller, you live on here. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor. Good afternoon, Bahamas.
Yes, sir.
Professor, man, that little play, man, Professor, that bring back old times, man. Professor, he's locked down. Prime Minister bring that old thing up. He's locked down. I thought the world was coming to the end. Professor, we find that old thing from, man. Professor, listen.
But this is what he said. When did he say that? I think it was yesterday. When was it, Mr. Blue, sir? He just said that recently, right? Not in an old tape caller.
Oh, he saving that for election time because he's locked down. I thought the world was coming to the end.
Oh.
He got me on that one.
The Prime Minister, listen, the Prime Minister doesn't tell me he don't rob nobody. His government ain't robbing nobody. You don't believe in that?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Isn't that wonderful? The Prime Minister say he does not believe in robbing the Bahamian people. You know when you rob, you're the thief, right?
You're damn right. And he's
that's
the
what the man
murder.
tells
And you know how
me.
the thing go.
Yeah, but then the man tells me he don't believe in robbing nobody. That's why that same week he made arrangement, pay these nurses. That's what the man tells me. I got to believe what he say.
Yeah, we got to believe what he say. Professor, we'll say it one more time, then I can go to my question.
Right.
Professor, last time he's locked down.
One time locked down, yeah.
And
but that was a different Prime
to
Minister.
end. He bring us too, but listen.
Hold a minute. The Prime Minister made a clear statement. This administration, now that other fella, well, he did something. So Mr. Davis will make the distinction. This government, this administration. Go ahead, caller.
I understand. I had one constitutional president for my mind and going back to lockdown now, man.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yes.
Professor, let me get back on track. Professor, listen here. Let's get back on track. Some things he did, man, I a little mad with, but I still, he bring us a long way. He's locked down. He putting these people in the foreign office. Yeah. I didn't like that. One little bit. That go against the Constitution. But that I ain't gonna say no more on that. But Professor, listen here. The National Intelligence Branch. Professor, you said they be listening to us, right?
Yeah.
The National Intelligence Branch need to wake up and get the Constitution, page 39, Article 47 and 48, and let these politicians who want to be a leader in the Bahamas line up against that. You know, and Professor, you know what the guys say? Number one, you got to be a real Bahamian from Bahamian parents and Bahamian fathers. You got to be that. And that's what, Professor, the most hardest one. People got to run. You got to have clean character, and you got to be financially stable. You cannot run from these things because we like someone. We got to put these things in place because that's what. We have people doing all kind of foolishness. But Professor, like you say, Why you making trouble in 5 years if we don't like him, we can put him out? Why I just curse this person out? I just wait for it. Always do. I just be real Bahamian. I sitting down. If you ain't, and listen, Professor, I'm going to throw this in before I finish. Professor, you might don't like this one, but I'm going to throw this in before I finish. I was watching these politicians. They trying to get in, and Professor, you ain't going to like this. They ain't want to fix no road. They ain't want to do nothing in the area. They ain't want to fix the camera. They just don't get in. Y'all better don't move the landmark. I try my car. I trying to duck the hole from going on East Street South, duck the road. The nigga going through the side almost had an accident. I trying to go. I come off my side, right? I was going on the next side because it's a big hole. And the nigga going right past speed. And I try to come. I live in the wrong. But these people don't get inside the parliament. And they don't do no work. Now that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Now you got to just listen. I'm going on this, Professor. No politician. Make sure all the children graduating in your area get a thing straight to BTVI. You can't sit down and try to get in the House of Parliament and don't do nothing. That's I say enough. I'm going on that one.
No, don't go yet. Don't go yet. No, man, don't run. I want you to quote those articles. I want my producer to make a note of that.
Oh, man.
Just hold on. No, don't go nowhere yet because I got to check that out. Caller, please give him the information again. Mention it again for me.
Okay.
Now take it slow now. Don't go too fast. So you have to write it down. Okay, go ahead.
Tell him go to the page. Get the page. The page 39. 39.
No, what's the article?
Oh, the article 47.
Article 47.
And you read down to 48.
Article 47 and 48.
Yeah, and Professor, got more there. I just pick out some.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
You got to be a Bahamian. You got to be a Bahamian. I'm going to say, Professor, I'm going to say it one more time. You got to be a Bahamian, right? You got to be a clean record. How do they say it? You know how they say it. Building a clean record.
You're correct.
Yes. And you send some more there. You can read it. Some more there.
Okay. Articles 47 and 48.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we just want to make sure I get it because I have to check that out.
Man, plenty there. I just pick out some.
Oh, okay. No problem. You know, these articles are very weighty, you know.
Huh?
These articles are extremely weighty.
Yeah, man. I noticed everyone playing like that in there.
But the point is, caller, the point is 99% of those sitting in that house right now do not know this Constitution. Do you know that?
I know they don't know it because you are picking all kind of people, picking troublemaker people, picking all kind of people. They're throwing them on us and you forgetting the Constitution.
One particular personality high up in the government said, Professor, I can't handle the Constitution. You throw those constitutional questions at me, I will not be able to answer them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
See, and you make a law, you should be shaming yourself.
No, but the law they made is statute laws. The point is, I got to question them on these statute laws that violate the Constitution. Because the man done tell me ahead of time, one high up in the government, said, Professor, I can't handle that Constitution. Just like that. The point is, when I talk to any of them, I got to deal with statute law, them same things where they sat on in the House, never sent me a copy to say, Professor, what do you think about this? You see how many amendments they got to keep making?
I see.
The mere fact that they do not know the Constitution of this country got them wasting all that time, this amendment, that amendment, next amendment. Come on, man. If you know the Constitution, what the Constitution says about the subject, you could correct it right at the very beginning. But they don't know. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
99% of them do not know the Constitution. And now 1%, even probably 1% that know it. That's just the reality of the day.
That's it, for real?
Yeah. So now give that advice again to these people about what you want them to do, who coming in for the first time and that kind of thing. Let's hear that again.
Oh, now first time. See, this what we used to do for them days. But I mean the first time, which mean the one where I mean for the Constitution or the work around place.
So
clean up, make sure your road in your area. That's what the old politicians used to do. They moving the landmark. They don't do nothing. They come in your area. Now, Professor, the man in my area, I talked to him, And he said he had a cleanup campaign. You do things like that. You make sure the road fixed. You make sure the cameras up and working. And you make sure, you make sure, like the children just graduated, you make sure they get straight to BTVI. You be doing something. Don't sit right here and think you will get in because I a certain party. No, my brother, let me see you working.
Yeah.
And Professor, you got to put the National Intelligence Branch to make all us be happy. Check the people out. Put that page on them. Then check them out. If you don't give them a break, give them a break. But they got to meet the quality. I always want to be a policeman, but they say, well, listen here. You too short.
Too short?
I'm a tall guy, but I put it like that. Something else wrong, But I always want to be a policeman. They say that's wrong with you.
Oh, okay.
They might give me a break, but listen, I could be reservist, but you can't break the law just because you feel like it. That's what the Constitution says.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I go on that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for your call. That is a very interesting call from that caller, and that's what we need to hire on the radio, how we can have the country to be better. Persons who want to represent House Assembly, that's a noble profession. And let me just correct this point that some people have in their head. Being in politics is dirty. Do you know Jesus Christ is the greatest politician? Scripture tells you in Isaiah 9:6, the government is upon his shoulders. This Bahamian government on the shoulders of Mr. Philip Brave Davis. He's in charge of the government. Jesus Christ is going to be in charge of his government. That's politics, Bahamians. You didn't know that, eh? Jesus Christ is the greatest politician of all time. And he can rule. Mr. Davis is in charge in the Bahamas. Jesus Christ is in charge of the entire world. And guess what he can do? He ain't having none of them fellows who there now in his cabinet. That's going to be a whole new administration. So when the new administration comes in, what happens? You move all them out of the way and put in a new administration. That's what you do. Some people think they should stay there because they were appointed by the former administration. No, sir. They go, you go. It's just as simple as that. This is Professor Sidney McGarter Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is Constitution Day. We talking constitutional law. This is Professor Sidney McGarter Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island sale is here, starting at $125 per night plus taxes and fees for single or double occupancy. Limited inventory is available and blackout date supply. Advanced booking is required, and Comfort Suites is offering free food and beverage credit up to $50 based on length of stay and redeemable at Crusoe's Restaurant and Splash Pool Bar. That and gratuity is not included. All guests of Comfort Suites receives complimentary use of Atlantis, including Aquaventure Water Park, daily complimentary full American buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi and free parking. Of course, kids 11 and under stay free in room with a parent and eats free at Crusoe's Restaurant with each paying adult. Go ahead, call 605-6300-363-3680 or WhatsApp 55-SUITE. That's 557-8483. Offer valid through February 28th. Comfort Suites Paradise Island, offering comforting days and sweet nights.
Cupid, let your arrow go straight to your loved one's heart with a Valentine's Day treat from Windermere Spa. As limited slots are available, book now for Cupid's Arrow at just $173. An enzyme facial, manicure, and whirlpool pedicure. Or just $152, there's the Hugs and Kisses package, a 30-minute stress relief massage, gel manicure, and whirlpool pedicure. Or at just $345, both of you come and experience a soulmate soiree. A couple's aromatherapy massage, manicure, and whirlpool pedicure. Gift certificates are available. Or call Harbor Bay at 393-8788 or Capes Village at 327-6135 or 6. It's the exciting Valentine's Day special at Windermere Day Spa. Call
Stella Signature Restaurant and Suites, Soldier Road, just north of Prince Charles Drive, is a Bahamian family-owned business. Rooms are available 24 hours, so you can swing by at any time. And let me tell you about Pella's Signature Restaurant. We got that real Bahamian breakfast. Boiled fish, stewed fish, and Johnny cake. Just like Grammy, still dancing in the kitchen. We're serving up that elevated Pella's Signature flavor all day with lunch, dinner, and signature cocktail. So whether you're craving a morning plate, a late-night taste, or you just want to get away, book it at Bella. Contact us at 356-3396 or visit our website, BellaSignatureSuites.net.
Nassau Motor Company knows that finding the right part for your car is important. That's why you can count on us to give you a quality AC Delco part, like maintenance-free batteries for quicker starts and pressure-tested water pumps for years of smooth operation. AC Delco parts are made to strict GM specifications and fit most cars and trucks in the Bahamas. Nassau Motor Company, AC Delco, and you, a winning combination.
Hey, look at my old friend.
Hey, you ever checked out Balfour Consumer Meat Mart on Balfour Ave and Charles Vincent Street?
No. What's so special about it?
Man, everything is fresh. I got all meat you get at some of those other stores. They have 5 different meat packages for every budget, even a 7-day Adventist package.
No, man. You say Balfour Consumer Meat Mart.
Yeah, man. Plus, fresh produce, great prices, and even items you wouldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah, man. That sounded like my type of place. Sound like Balfour Consumer Meat Mart really doing their thing.
Listen, they are clean, organized, and not staffed. Super friendly. You can even WhatsApp your order to 544-1515 or call 326-4702. And they offer free shipping to the Family Islands.
Now that's what I'm talking about. I have to go check them out today.
Freshness, value, and service. All waiting for you at Balfour Consumer Meat Mart.
Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center has launched their online auction website. Now you can browse, cast your bid, and win amazing items like some of these winners.
I just won this blender for $55 on BahamasLiquidation.com. I want this suitcase set for $100 at BahamasLiquidation.com.
And now it's your turn. Simply grab your laptop or smart device and log on to BahamasLiquidation.com. Once you reach the main webpage, click on the My Account option where you can go to register. After filling in the necessary information, hit register and you're good to go. Happy bidding! Please have your credit card on hand as the winning bidder is responsible to pay for the winning items within 30 minutes of the auction closing. The winner must collect the items in store within 24 hours after the auction is closed. Please note that a 3.5% service charge will be added to your winning bid amount at checkout.
I won this HP laptop for $120 at BahamasLiquidation.com.
I won this magic bullet for only $35 at BahamasLiquidation.com.
Bahamas Liquidation Auction Center,
where you say hello to goodbye.
From Cable Beach to Montague, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. We'll let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Magada Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and Bahamians. I believe the Bahamas is still the safest place on the planet to live. Now, the tape that was played, we have another tape from the Prime Minister. This tape was played, which was already aired 21 hours ago. All right, that's not an old tape. Those are recent words, less than a day old, 21 hours ago. All right, and the next one you will hear is 22 hours ago. Not quite ready for that yet. As soon as my producer lets me know he has it set up, we will let you hear that. But the Prime Minister say he does not believe in robbing anyone. But he say trust is a two-way street. You trust him, and he trusts you. So, Mr. Prime Minister, when I work, I trust you, I work, I expect to see my check in the bank. That's what the man tells me. So he made arrangements, it was not in the budget, it was on the budget, and he made arrangements for them to get their money. Now, I know how soon they're supposed to get it now. Them nurses need to tell us how soon that was supposed to be. Now I still have some more comments on that first clip. We'll be playing the second clip from the Prime Minister. This to deal with the people in Grand Bahama. So people in Grand Bahama, please listen very carefully to what the man say. And those who got their money, like the man tells me, then you should say you get your money. Just as simple as that. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
We're entitled to. There's been some hangover. We have paid those persons whom we feel we're entitled to. There's been some hangover to one or two. And that's being corrected during the course, was being corrected in the course of this week and into next week.
And about the hotel itself and the progress, I know you continue to
Yeah,
think about it.
The progress.
Continue to ask.
The hotel has been sold and the owner is working his plans, and we're waiting for him to come back to us with those plans.
Well, that was a short one. I thought the Prime Minister give us a little bit more detail. He said the hotel has been sold. He didn't tell us how much money they got. All right, listen to what he didn't say now. He said it has been sold. The owner is working his plans, whatever that's supposed to mean. And there are those who were due money and they were paid. So you people in Grand Bahama who got that money, those who were waiting for them checks, don't stay in the corner now and say you ain't getting a check. Because the man say there are a few, one or two, who they're working on this week and next week. That's what the man say. So the overwhelming majority would have gotten their money because the people called us and told us they ain't get their money. They've been waiting for some time. Now, Grand Bahama, you heard what the man say. And we got to hear from you now what you say. Did you get your money? Now, about the hotel, they ain't quite sure about that, but the man say it has been sold. He didn't tell us how much money was paid. What are these plans? Say the owner is working his plans, not the government plan, his plans. And so you got to listen to the terminology he uses in addressing these situations. And I guess some people may speculate on this and speculate on that, but we try to be as accurate as we possibly can when it comes to what a particular personality will say, and we have a tape. We want to be honest and want to be fair. Now, getting back to the first tape, the man said he don't believe in robbing people. Not his government, this administration. He made that very clear in the tape. You trust me, I trust you. Because he said that the nurses were in such an unfavorable condition when he came to power. He worked to correct it. And also the fact is that there are people outside this country who are trying to get our nurses to leave. Well, I hear the government got some nurses from Guyana. So that means some had left. Now, we ought to do everything in our power, since our nurses are so highly qualified. Then we got to up the salaries. Now, you can't come bring foreign nurses in here and pay them more than what you were paying Bahamians. That's another problem if you're doing that. But them nurses from Guyana are here. And they're working in the Bahamas. Now, what the working conditions are they paying for them to live in these places, or are they paying it out of their own salary? See, all those details we have to know. So we could bring it on the air and say, this is how the government is dealing with the nurses from Guyana and the nurses from these foreign countries. Are they getting better benefits than the persons who left and went elsewhere? See, there are questions we have to ask them. We got to get to the Public Hospital Authority and ask them these questions so we can hear this is what they told us, or have them come on the radio, as we will request them to do, and say to you. If the minister can't come, he could send them people from whoever he got in there, send them in, so we could let them say to the public. See, I want this to be a public discussion. So ain't gonna be no back and forth. You say, I say. No, Bahamians. We won't get into that. Same thing with the union. We can get the union people to come and say, Madam President, this is what the man say. He don't believe in robbing nobody. You believe that? You trust me, I trust you. That's what the man say. Trust is a two-way street. So you got to listen to what he said. Now, is he doing it? Now we got to ask you, what is the result? Did he do what he say? If you get the money, well, that's good. Now you handle it, that's your personal affair. We ain't getting to that part. But the point is, you made this, you made some complaints. Well, now if you get sick, now I know you say you're sick, you're sick. The Prime Minister said he was disappointed in the nurses being sick. Or was this just a industrial action that was taken by the nurses and they call it a sick out? You mean the nurses to say they're sick and they ain't sick? Not these Christian nurses, man, who's go to church on Saturday and Sunday. It can't be them. Must be some other people. But not these good Christian nurses who go to church on Saturday and Sunday, say they sick and they ain't sick. No, man, it can't be them. Must be somebody else. But they say they were sick. Maybe they know when people are sick. They handle sick people. The nurses can get sick too, even doctors can get sick too. Who's going to take care of the sick nurses when they get sick? Who takes care of the sick nurses? That's an interesting question. Who take care of the sick doctors when the doctors get sick? But they're all mortal and human just like we are. We got to take care of them so they can stay well until Christ comes back. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Let's keep our nurses happy so they ain't got to go nowhere. Because the people want to take them away from us. They're well trained, well qualified. So now they say, come to this foreign nation. And they can live in the Bahamas and get their money. Huh? They ain't paying no tax on it. Them other places you pay tax. Now the standard of living is high. You know that in the Bahamas. So we got to pay them a little bit more. Now I know what the pay arrangement is. We can find all that out when we ask the people to come. So the public can have an accurate and precise information. They're not to be misled. They're not to be deceived. That is the way it must be, Bahamians. You must be told. I believe you have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
My brother, Professor, how are you?
I'm doing well. The man tell me he don't believe in robbing nobody. That's what the man say. Notice what he said. First he said, this government. Then he said, this administration. Now, you can't talk about them others. But this one, what he in charge of? I don't believe in robbing nobody. What do you think about that?
Oh, boy. Well, this is a silly year, they say, eh?
No, man, it ain't silly. They just call the election season the silly season.
Right. Okay.
That's what they call it. But I got to go by what the man say.
Yeah. Well,
now I got to get the other side to hear what they going to say, so I can invite them to come in and discuss it publicly. I told one fellow who had antiquities and monuments, he thought about he want to have private conversations. Say, no, sir. Bring it out in the public so the public could hear what Professor says and the public could hear what the man from antiquities say, and then we go from there.
Well, your subject matter on Monday, you have me doing a lot of homework, and your subject matter on Monday always is the Constitution, eh?
That's correct, yeah.
And people may take that literally, but I really now beginning to open my eyes and see how effective the Constitution can be once you understand it.
I'm glad you said that. Once you understand it.
Now we have two constitutions. You know that, eh?
Two constitutions?
Yes, we do.
Enlighten me then. I know we have one.
Okay, let me explain the two.
Okay.
One is temporal, that you often talk about, that the Bahamas was built on, eh? Or governed by.
Yes.
Then we have the biblical constitution that we must live our life by.
No, I have to acquiesce to what you say. That is correct.
You agree with that?
No, I have to agree with that. I have to agree. I didn't quite get it at the point when you said it that way.
Well, you have me to another level, and I sometimes ask the question: this nation that I once knew now consume more with politics rather than the biblical constitution on what we know that the temporal constitution was built on. Would you agree with that?
No, I agree, yes. 100%.
You agree?
Yeah.
You know, myself and a brilliant young man had a conversation.
Yes.
And if man, I often ask on this station and many other stations that I call, to connect themselves biblically.
Yeah, you always say that. Yeah, I agree.
And I want to say again, I want to make an appeal to all men, regardless of how wealthy you are, like Elon Musk. He's doing something what the biblical constitution said to do, but he's doing it the wrong way.
Okay.
And I will explain, being one of the wealthiest and the richest man in the world. God is so good to man.
Very much so.
And I just don't understand why man can't find the time and read the biblical constitution. Try to understand it. Connect yourself to see what God did for man.
Yes.
Do you know God put generation in man?
Yes.
That's a constitution that God put in man. Generation. And if man could only understand the importance of just God putting generation in him. For example, God and Abraham had a relationship. And God told Abraham that he will build many nations.
Yes.
Abraham went and discussed the conversation that he had with his wife at that time was Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah then laughed at God and laughed at Abraham.
Yes, she did.
And this is what's going on with this feminist movement, this group of feminists. There's a particular personality that hosts this show who display those personalities and going right back to her woman. Now she's a part of. Isn't it amazing? And let me say this. If our brothers don't connect themselves biblically to understand this group of feminists that have issues with God, but not remembering the principle ain't gonna never change. And now I understand why God put generation in man.
Okay.
And Abraham obeyed God with the permission of Sarah. And he went into Hagar. And he built another generation.
Okay.
And the generation was Ishmael. What I'm saying to man, connect yourself biblically, because this feminist movement want that chair that God gives to us.
I agree.
You agree with me?
No, I agree with you 100%.
This is why they are becoming so aggressive. They want to sit in this chair, what God gives to us, man.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Man, please study the Constitution of the Bible. They want that chair. And the more they fight for that chair, the more destruction we will have. Because the chair was never given to them. The chair was given to you. This
Yes.
is why he put nation in you, man.
That's correct.
Man, please. It's nothing effeminate by connecting yourself. They want to sit in this chair that was never given to them. This is why so many of them now offering themselves to run, to serve. Serve what? They want serve. They want in that chair.
Okay.
My brother, please, brothers, I'm begging you. And I'm not asking you to be abusive. I'm not asking you to be violent. I'm not asking you. I am asking you to connect yourself biblically so you could be a better husband, be a better father, be a better uncle, be a better whatever.
I agree.
And understand the Constitution of God, why God put generation in you. And God allow you to go until you reach about 80 to build generation. Understand this Constitution. But the only way you can understand it, you got to connect yourself biblically. You cannot do it temporally. Don't be like Elon Musk. Them have almost 15 children all over the place. Why? these group of feminists want a child from Elon Musk. They go and they toe in line to have a child with this man.
Yeah, that's sad.
Why they want this generation? Oh, nobody paying attention to that. They got a group of feminists toe in line to get a generation out of Elon Musk. The question is this: why?
Why? Yeah, that's a good question.
Put that out there. Why is it that the group of feminists is toe in line to sleep with Elon Musk to get his generation? Have a good day, Professor.
Well, thank you. The caller raised a good point. In fact, not only with Elon Musk, but some others who may have money, who may have assets of such magnitude. And why would females want to have a relationship with this man, which is sexually explicit, to bring forth a child, or son or daughter, from this particular individual? It's a very good question that was put out there, and Bahamas, you need to think about that, because we have that happening right in our own country, where it's very sad. It's not a good thing, but like he said, there's a right way, there's a wrong way, and the way we're going about it is contrary to God's word. God made the woman for the man. All right? The woman came out from the man. If there was no man, there would be no woman to begin with. Because Adam said, she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. The woman is to help the man. See, I say this to men all the time. In my business, I can't do the work as effectively as it ought to be without the women. The women make men look good. And as the caller said, not to be abusive, men are not supposed to be abusive to the women. The women can make tremendous contributions. I know about this. They do. The women look to the men for leadership, but if you keep falling down where God placed you in the chair, as he said, gave you the leadership, he said the head of the woman is the man. Not might be or could be. The head of the man is Christ. The head of Christ is God. That's God's order, Bahamians. You mean tell me we don't want to go according to God's order? There is a hidden agenda, and I'm not disagreeing with what the caller said. He's right on point with that, and we need to discuss that. I got to get some people in here to talk about that, because that is a serious issue. We're losing too many of our young men. That is a problem that I'm concerned about. We got to discuss these things, Bahamians. You saw what happened to the fellow who was on the machine. What do they call it now? Excavator, I think they call it. And he went down this deep hole. But someone gave me some information on it. I'm going to wait until I get to see the information before I go further into it. But based on what I know, even what the police reported, they call it an industrial accident for the time being. And, it's sad that this man lost his life in this way. We have to exercise caution and restraint. Now, notice the caller said you could go all up to 80. Well, I can tell him you could go beyond 80, go up to 100. The man can produce his seed up to 100 and over. We see it right there in the book. So you don't have to be promiscuous Bahamians. You don't have to be going with this one, that one, and the next one. Then you can have some other problems. Sexually transmitted diseases. And then when you get sick and you're on the AIDS ward, nobody wants to even be seen with you. And that's sad. But they take your money from you. And like he said, people lining up to see this particular personality. And another personality who may have been here, people lining up to see that particular personality. Huh? I mean, what are we saying, Bahamians? Is this the way we want to live? That's contrary to sound doctrine. There will always be the possibility. When people go contrary to what God says, you're going to get hurt. The fellow who got all that money is going to get hurt, and the people who have relations with him, who get some of the money, they will be hurt too. It's a very damaging thing to be disobedient to God. Like he said, he's doing it the wrong way. You have to do it the right way. And too many children don't know who their fathers are. I always knew mommy. I always knew daddy. And I was discussing this with some family members just, when was it, maybe a day or two ago. When I see children in my own community, you see the mothers. The mothers are struggling to feed these children. I talked to two youngsters. One I thought was a girl. I had to apologize to the person. Two brothers, one 14 and I think one 16. But they live with their mother. And I asked, where's daddy? They may see him now and then. So they don't have a relationship with daddy. I always had a relationship with daddy. He was always there from the time I knew myself. That was daddy. That was mommy. They were always there. They were professional people now. They did their work. And they also took care of their family. And I always did like the covering mommy and daddy gave me as a child. And even when I became young as I am today, they were still there. And I say they might as well stay till Christ come back. I'd been happy if they were alive today. But I appreciate what they did for me as one of their sons. My father had 6 sons. And so those of us who had that kind of training ought to be very grateful, because there are too many young boys today who don't know who daddy is. And that hurts Bahamians. That hurts very deeply. You men have to understand the massive psychological damage you're doing to your own children. And they have to live with this all their lives, Bahamians. It has to be corrected. Fathers, you have to correct this mistake. It can't go from one generation to the next. It's a serious thing that damages people. And emotional abuse, I mean, you can't quantify that, but it's heavy. The boys and the girls want to know daddy. That's why God put the man as the head. And you can't interchange that behavior. The woman was made to help the man. God said, I will give him an helpmeet. This was before he was married now. So let's get that straight. I will make an helpmeet for him. So God brought all those animals to him. You know what God was telling about them animals? You're not to have no intimate relationship with these animals. They're not fit for you. But you still have people doing that crap today. They will have relations with animals. Then God said, I can bless it. God didn't bring another man or another male in the garden. So that ain't fit neither for this intimate, close relationship. Then God made them husband and wife. That's why the scripture said, therefore a man leave his father and mother and cleave where? Unto his wife. And they two become one flesh. And they were both naked. They had no clothes on. But they were not ashamed. How come later on they got ashamed? Because they disobeyed God. That's why. In the privacy of their own home, the husband and wife can be naked if they so desire. But that's the way God set it up. But we won't go against God's way and bring all kind of strangers and males and females and all mixing up and knocking up at one another. No. That's disaster. That caused trouble. I hear the music in the background. The lines are open, babe, but you need to call on this. This is Constitution Day. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Wake up every weekday on 99.5 FM.
This is Steve Harvey, your main man.
With a Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Would you rather make all of your clothes, or would you rather hunt for all of your food?
Hunt for all your food?
All of your food, or make all of your clothes?
I'm going to make these
Let me
clothes. I ain't
explain
going to look
something
worth it, but I'm... If you gotta go and hunt for all your food, you ain't gonna be able to wear nothing you got no more, no how. You're not hungry, you finna be looking. Hunting is not easy. Yeah.
Weekday morning from 6 to 10.
Let's go!
Over here on
99.5 FM.
Do you have video games and consoles for sale? What about lawn and garden tools, silver or gold? At Cash Whiz, they'll give you top dollar for them right now. Absolutely nobody puts money in your pockets quicker. So why be broke? If you need money right now, check out Cash Whiz downtown Bay Street and get cash on the spot. You can also save 70% on in-store purchases, tools, electronics, watches, and jewelry, all at unbelievable prices. Cash Whiz, telephone 322-2456. Get money in your pocket now.
Stay current, stay compliant with NIB. For a limited time only, registered employers and self-employed persons can receive up to 75% off accumulated interest on their contribution arrears through NIB's Interest Arrears Waiver Program, available now until March 31st, 2026. If your business is behind, visit your nearest NIB office or contact your inspector today. NIB, supporting businesses, securing the fund. Act now, comply today, grow tomorrow.
Bahamian feel-good food in the right atmosphere. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whichever you choose. It's the Cricket Club Restaurant at Haynes Point, West Bay Street. The food is off the chain. Bahamian breakfast. We talking stew cow, stew fish, and sheeptown sauce. And for lunch, crab soup, okra soup, and pea soup and dumpling. Man! And for dinner, they got mahi seafood platter or steak and shrimp. Only $28.95 per person. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Cricket Club Restaurant. Call 326-4720 for reservations. Oh, and don't forget, karaoke on Thursdays. And there's a live band, The Magic Touch, every Friday night. See you.
Insurance is too expensive. I'm young and I don't need it. All insurances are the same. Let's bust these 3 common insurance myths. First, no, insurance doesn't have to break the bank. We offer plans that fit your budget. Second, accidents don't care how old you are. An accident can happen to anyone. Third, all policies are not equal. The wrong one can leave you high and dry when you need help the most. At Harvest Insurance, we give you real info, real options, and real peace of mind. Call us at 326-808-405 or visit us at harvestinsurancebrokers.com and get the facts before you make a decision.
Whether you're shopping for Mother's Day, Father's Day, back to school, or any occasion for that matter, you are sure to find exactly what you're looking for at the Brass and Leather Shops. Great products like handbags, wallets, backpacks, luggage, belts, shoes, and more are awaiting you. Brand names at the best quality and reasonable prices. Land, Rioni, Kipling, Guest, Travel Light, Herschel, and more. Shop any of our locations. Downtown Charlotte Street, Mall at Marathon, and also the Luggage Store at Palmdale. Be sure to shop Brass and Leather Shops. You'll be glad you did.
Steve Harvey here from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Everybody knows that I love to chill out with great music. There's only one place you can get this tonight at 7 p.m.
As soon as you clock off from work, make sure you lock right into me. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm, inviting you to come on over. I've got all of that R&B ear candy that you love. Plus, we'll engage in conversations inside a confession of love and so much more. And you never know who's going to drop by. It's The Quiet Storm, all getting underway tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on Global 99.5. I'm Lenny Green from The Quiet Storm.
From East Street to Blue Hill Road, it's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network. My producer was telling me this is the last phase of the show, less than 30 minutes, so Bahamians call in quickly. This is Constitution Day. I thought I was just getting started. See how fast time is flying? Now, do not forget I need you to send me an email because I told you I need your strong financial support. We have to keep the show on the air, Bahamians. You say you enjoy the show. We want you to sponsor the show. You send me that email, put your phone numbers on that email and say, Professor, I am interested in sponsoring the show. That's all you got to say. And I'll get back to you on it. But there are a number of things we need to do. Some events we will have in the public domain. We want to attend those rallies. I told you that now. We got to go to the rally. They got to record what the man say. You heard what the man say today. And we want to be accurate because this is going to be a hot election, Bahamians. I got to be there to hear what the man say and interview the man right on the spot. You know, I can ask him about the Constitution. You know that. But many of them don't know the Constitution. So now for me to ask them questions, I got to deal with the same laws they pass in that house. What they say. Well, you should know something about it. So I got to, see, the cat got 9 lives. And it has been proven, you ask them a constitutional question they cannot answer. Period. They don't know it. And the particular personality that was mentioned to me by this particular high-ranking personality, I won't call the name of the particular personality, but this particular personality is supposed to be a constitutional expert, a constitutional lawyer. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I'm a professor of constitutional law. There's a difference in there. All right? But this particular personality does not say anything to the public, doesn't communicate with the public. Now, I won't say more than that, but I'm just going by the evidence that I have available to me. This particular personality is aware of the lack of understanding in the country, and maybe there are some others who may know too, but they're not. They haven't come forward to help the Bahamian people. It's just that simple. See, Bahamians, you got to deal with harsh reality, you know. We have to learn to deal with harsh reality. Otherwise, you can slide right into oblivion. I don't want that to happen to the Bahamas, okay? Some people already disappeared off the planet. There has been. Now we got to stay here till the man come back. The fellow was on the excavator who fell into that deep hole, and all that stuff fell on him. Wasn't there for a good while. And like I say, I'm waiting for the details to come so I could discuss it even further, because I'm very much concerned about the fact, like I tell you all the time, we're losing too many of our young men. Now, we got to put a moratorium on that, protect the young men. So when I had these 2 youngsters come to my gate on Saturday, I told them, I said, I want you to get as young as I am. He looked at me, and then one say, how old are you? I say, you didn't hear what I say. I said, I want you to get as young as I am. And when you get as young as I am, you make one more decision. You stay until the man come back. That's all you have to do. But I say now, I can tell you one thing. You got to listen to your mother and your father. That's the only guarantee you have for longevity on the planet. Well, they say I live with mommy. 2 brothers live with mommy. But ain't no daddy. I said, where daddy is? Well, daddy don't live with us. He just see him now and then. See what kind of crap that is? We as men have to do better than that. That's your seed, man. That's your sons. These young men need daddy. Anyhow, caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, what's happening, man? The Prime Minister, I called before you go, the Prime Minister tell me he don't like robbing nobody. Not his government don't rob nobody. That's what he tell me. Then he say, I trust you, you trust me. Anyhow, let me let you get your point in.
Yeah, do you have a guest today?
No, I got not on Constitution Day. I just hold up this
Oh,
whole
no
show for
guest.
myself.
Okay.
I don't hold
Yeah,
no
okay.
guest on Constitution Day.
Just regarding what that statement that was made.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, you didn't tell me exactly where to go to collect my funds, so I don't know. Should I believe him or not?
He said he has made arrangements. He say some people don't get paid. Them people in Grand Bahama. He talk about the people in here, the nurses, and I guess nurses in Grand Bahama too, but also the people from the port or with the hotel. He said the hotel was sold, but he ain't tell us how much money he collect for the hotel.
Professor, I don't know what to think. I mean, if that's the case, he should have said where you can go to get your money. I mean, I don't know exactly what to do.
What to
Where
do?
should I go?
Yeah, but then he should make that clear. But he say he made arrangements for the money to be paid. Well, he did it for the nurses. And he say some people down there have already been paid. He say got one or two. They're working on some things. But they will get theirs this week or next week. So by next week, Monday, y'all should be straight.
I don't know. I tried to call the hotel. Nobody answers.
You got to call the Prime Minister, man. We ain't dealing with no hotel now. You got to deal
with
him.
This is. I don't want to say this is a big laugh. I hope he's right.
But I only could report what the.
I know.
Yeah, I only could report what he's saying now. I ain't want to say anything that he didn't say. I could discuss it, and I could elaborate on it, and I say this is what the man tell the public. So we gotta see now. Only those who affected, those who are the what you call them, the vendors, and others who work for the hotel. But he said the man who bought the hotel ain't tell us how much money they got, but he said he got his own plans. That's what the Prime Minister say. His plan.
I wouldn't believe it until I see it. I must be,
You ain't got no faith? You ain't got no faith.
No, I don't. Well, faith. Professor, I've been holding on now since last year, October.
But I thought when he said, well, he say some people don't get paid. In Grand Bahama, yes.
I know some of the management staff got paid, but I'm talking about the vendors. I'm not politically connected, so I don't know. But
he ain't say nothing
I
about
haven't been
political
paid.
connection. But he say to me, this government don't rob nobody. That's what the man say.
Well, what he needs to do, he needs to come back and say where to go.
Where to go to get the money.
To there to get your money.
But he's the Minister of Finance. All you got to do is write the check or give an order, say put this check in them people's account. Bing! And it happens.
I want Bahamians to know, because there are a lot of Bahamians who still not paid, even though he's making those statements.
But I want the Bahamian people to call in and speak to the issue. I can invite the nurses in. I can see if I get somebody in Grand Bahama who could come on the air from Grand Bahama and speak to the issue. You see, because we don't want this back and forth now. We got to report what the man say, and we report what the people say, and see how we could fix the thing right. Because the man tell me, the man say he don't believe in robbing nobody, but he say, you trust me, I trust you. But I don't work, Mr. Prime Minister. I just want my check, that's all.
Exactly. So anyhow, tomorrow I'll find out. I'll just find out. And if I do, and if I'm successful, I'll call you back and let you know.
Yeah,
and if I'm not successful...
And is there anyone in Grand Bahama I could call to bring on the show who I could speak to in relation to this matter what the Prime Minister is talking about?
I wish.
What about Ginger Moxie? Ginger Moxie,
well, maybe her. She just outlined all the things that she has done.
She's minister. She solved some problems down there.
Well, a lot of those trivial things. I mean, things what you're normally supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
You shouldn't ask for no credit for that.
No credit for that. Yeah.
Not for those things.
Yeah, okay.
So
but I thought she solved some major constituency problems in the Pinewood
Major. You need to tell me what it is. Major. Anyhow, Professor, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll just go and do some checks and I'll get back.
But I appreciate you calling. And I hope my good friend down there who calls regularly, I hope she could get some information, because we need to really, thank you, caller, for your contribution. We need to really put some meat on the bone, man. Or maybe we should take the meat and throw the bone away. Huh? But maybe you got to listen to your prime minister. And see if it ain't being done. Then you got to say, Mr. Prime Minister, I ain't get the check yet. I ain't get the money yet. You made arrangements with these people to be paid. And he did tell us some have already been dealt with. Now, I know who they are now. But you who got dealt with, who was saying you didn't get dealt with, then you need to come and say it. And to help the others who ain't get theirs, you got to share with your brothers. Listen, that means we got to learn to work with one another, you know. Don't let the man give you one check and you're working right there. But you got to say, Mr. Prime Minister, these others working here too. They ain't get a check. But if you don't tell them, maybe he might forget. He said it was in the budget. It was not in the budget. It was unbudgeted. And he said when he found out, he said that same week, they dealt with it. Well, that's what he tell me. So we got to go by what the man say, Bahamians. Okay, now I can make sure I play this thing right. And because I want these people to get their money so they can help support this show. Because the thing is, Bahamians, we have to look out for one another, okay? Like I said, for those who weren't here, I did see my representative on Saturday evening. He had an entourage with him. And I had a good conversation with him. I spoke to his mother, and she asked me to give her a shout out. I think I did it early in the show. The mother of Jomo Campbell, Mrs. Campbell. She listens to the show regularly and consistently. That's good. But now we need the funding behind it. Now, do not forget what I tell you. Please send that email. The State of the Nation, 242@gmail.com. See, I got to stay. I got to stay on air, Bahamians. The State of the Nation, THE, the State, STATE, of OF, the THE Nation @gmail.com. And you put your phone numbers on the email. My team will get the email. Now, we were having a little difficulty with some things, but we're going to get to everyone who sends that email in. And just send a straight email. Don't put any other funny things in there. Just send it so we can get it, work on it, bing, and you put the money in the bank. That's all you got to do. They'll tell you how to do that. Because it takes funding to get things done, Bahamians. And people need to be told and reminded of that. Okay? I want to see a better country. I want this election to be the best election for the Bahamian people. That we get all our problems solved. Because the man tell me in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. See, I ain't going to deal with the other portion right now. I dealing with the positive side of the scripture. The righteous must be there. 41 righteous people in there. So we got to work on this thing, Bahamians. It's worth having a righteous representative in your constituency. So these problems will get solved. So if the party puts up crappy people, you don't vote for them. If the man is not righteous, you don't vote, well, the woman too. If the woman and the man, or whoever may be, that goes and come to your constituency, knock on your door, and they're not righteous, don't vote for them. Because you're putting trouble in your hand. Okay, that's what you can get. We need solutions to constituency problems. That's one. We need solutions to national problems. That's two. Bahamians, I will insist on that. That's what I can be campaigning on. Because I got to do some campaigning too. And I can help the people to make a sound decision and a good judgment. Bahamians, we can't be sitting in the dark. We need light. God said, let there be light. Bing! Light came on. The Prime Minister, he sent a directive. Bing! Checks in the bank. Bing! Finish. That's how it's supposed to be. Same thing with the MP. Then my representatives say, Professor, consider it done. Well, I expect it to be done. Didn't the Prime Minister say, you trust me, I trust you? That's what the man tells me. So when my representatives say, Professor, consider it done, well, that I accept his word. So I expect some positive things to happen for Portland Castle. And I'm delighted that I was able to express that to him. But I want him to come on here so I could, say some other things. I want to interview these political personalities on air. So you will hear what the professor asked him, and you all got all your little recording and thing like that. You all could keep that until Christ come back. You could play it and talk it over with your friends. It is what Professor asks Jomo Campbell or asks the Prime Minister, whoever. And this is what the Prime Minister said to him at that particular time. That's solid information, man. Not what somebody say the man say. They ain't going for that. They want to hear it directly from the man. Okay? So let's get it right. The lines are still open. We have a few minutes left in the show. Those who want to call in, please call. Bahamians, take advantage of these shows when you have them, Bahamians, so we can get some things done. Now, don't forget the email, the State of the Nation 242@gmail.com. Make sure you send that to me today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Put it in today. Put your phone numbers on the email and bing. I got some on my desk right now. I got to call them. So Bahamians, we have to build the Commonwealth of Bahama. See, I want a better nation. My mother and father worked hard. Then my parents before them worked hard. There were people who were here in the first 52 years. They worked hard. Unfortunately, we've lost some. Okay? I don't like us losing people, and we could ill afford it, Bahamians. We need to keep everyone in the country. The man was killed in Grand Bahama, I was told. That's probably murder number 6, they say. I mean, this just don't make any sense. You mean tell me we can't solve this problem? What you killing the man for? For what? You don't have to kill nobody. Listen, see, we have had a transition from 1729 right on up to 2026, where we are today. Not firing one shot. We must keep that record, Bahamians. You can't let these stupid people tell us nonsense about breaking up the country. Give me a break. I want to be like Maduro, the fellow who in Venezuela. I don't want that to happen here, man. Because if that were to happen here, we get all kind of bad news on that. So let's talk to the man. We got a strong constitution. Let's talk to the man. Tell the man you're not constitutionally sound. Stop your foolishness. Stop your nonsense. That's what you do. If we don't, God knows what to do with him. Okay? God could take care of him. For you and me. God says the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord to turn it whithersoever he will. We tell the Lord now, please. We need righteous leaders. We need righteous people running the place. We want them other people now. I stand with the righteous. When the righteous and listen, man, we could be rejoicing every day. Every single day we have a body. Wouldn't that be nice? Every day you have a body. All of us happy. You who live in Fort Centerville, happy. People in Bay and Grandstown, happy. People in New Providence, happy. People in Grand Bahama, happy. We got to change the way things are, Bahamians. We could move from the negative side to the positive side. Let's have some positivity in this year, man. This is 2026. Well, this is the second day of the second month. Yeah. Let's see if we could get the rest of 2026 without having all those burdens on our back. Now, last night I was looking for my clock. I was very upset. I couldn't find it. And I got on my knees and asked the Lord, please show me where the clock is. You know, the Lord showed me where the clock was. Just like that. I, when he had enough sense, yet so frustrated, that I asked the Lord, please show me where the clock is. You know, the Lord showed me where the clock was. And guess what? The battery was out of it, so it couldn't tick. And you know, it's like something come over you, gone, problem solved. You feel different, Bahamians? Now, that's a simple matter. So I'm using that as an example. All matters could be solved just like that. Let's ask God for his divine intervention, Bahamians. We got to listen to what God says and do it. So I'm praying for you that we'll have a good election. You'll have the politicking and all that. And let me tell you, Jesus is the greatest politician. Because scripture says, Isaiah 9:6, you don't believe me? The government will be upon his shoulder. Well, the government is Bahamas on Mr. Davis's shoulder. He's going to have his own team. And Mr. Davis has his team, and some people might even get picked for the team, and then, you know, that's the way it is. Only one person could be a candidate, right? For a particular party in a particular constituency. And some who were vying didn't get it. They nominated Mr. Davis to run again for Cat Island. They nominated Mr. Cooper to be the candidate for Exuma. They were in the last 13 or 15, whatever. Okay? This is Professor Sidney McGarry, Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Thank you very much for those who called in, those who were listening. Now, don't forget to send the email now. The State of the Nation 242@gmail.com. And please put your phone numbers on the email so I can call you and we will let you know how you can give us your support and help. This is Professor Sidney McGarry, Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. I'll be here tomorrow. I have a special guest on for tomorrow. Tuesday, Hot Topics Tuesday is tomorrow. So that will be exciting. This is Professor Sidney McGarry, Walter Thomson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Pray for the nation, man. Don't forget that. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant day.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is 99.5 Global FM, your number one source for R&B in the Bahamas.
Bahamian feel-good food in the right atmosphere. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whichever you choose. It's the Cricket Club Restaurant at Haynes Point, West Bay Street. The food is off the chain.